All right, so welcome to this first live stream. I know a lot of you were asking me to go live, and finally I'm live. For those of you who doesn't know me, I'm Ilya Lamin, and today, and I know a lot of you were asking me. I received so many messages. Just I was so busy these days. I haven't been able to prepare the whole live stream, schedule for a live stream. So finally, I'm live. Apologies for that. So, this live stream, I wanted to start first with something really easy to understand, but at the same time, pretty significant. In this transmission, in this live stream, I will talk about this ongoing transition between the internet-based economy that we are in, because mostly we use the internet as a communication tool and also a tool to exchange data, um, content and everything that goes with. We're using internet on a daily basis. So from the internet-based economy to what's going to happen to an AI-based economy or AI economy, simply speaking, you're gonna hear me talk up. Usually I will not use the words AI-based economy. I will just say AI economy. It will be the same thing. Obviously, the AI will influence all the industries that we know because it's basically a layered-based technology. It's a fundamental infrastructure that will change everything in the same way internet changed a lot of what we do, a lot of ways we live our lives on a personal basis or on a business level, a professional level. So in this live stream, we're gonna explore the whole thing. Now, for those of you who doesn't know me, I don't like this hype. I don't like this delusional excitement, and also I don't like fear-based beliefs or fear-based stories, because I know why people are doing that. I know why mainstream media are doing that, because they want to sell. They want to sell. There's something they wanted to sell you. That's why you see this hyper excitement about AI. It's gonna change everything. You're gonna be in AI. If not, you're gonna die. Something like that. Or you see the fear-based stories of beliefs. Everyone going to lose their jobs, and we're going to be in a jobless society. A what they call it, a after I think it's past base, past work society or something like that. I mean, and all of that doesn't make any sense. There's no basis for it. Yes, any technology that comes, any fundamental technology that comes like internet, AI, will change things for sure. On a personal basis, on a professional level, on business level, it's going to change industries and going to change entire sectors for sure. But there's two key things that needs to be understood, and there's two aspects that we tend to kind of underestimate and overestimate. We overestimate the speed at which those transitions happen. We think that AI will be implemented everywhere within a couple of years, which is kind of not the case. And we underestimate the real capabilities of technologies. We did underestimate the real capabilities of the internet, and we actually pretty much underestimate the real capabilities of AI. And so we think it's gonna come faster, but in reality we don't really understand what the real capabilities are, because we have this idea that everyone will lose their job and AI will be everywhere, which it's kind of not the case. The whole philosophy around post-labor economics, if it happens, it will happen in a way that the technology will be so advanced that probably the whole system will be completely different by now. So we're not gonna talk about post-labor economics. That's for sure. I'm not gonna touch this topic, but we kind of need to explore what's really going on right now, because you see what's happening with AI it's kind of very similar transition that happened in the past. And let me just put myself aside here. Here we go. I'm showing you a desktop computer from probably 1995. For those of you who are actually old enough to remember those old cathodic screens and those computers with the internet, obviously with dial-up internet, 56K, if I 56, and before that it was 24. Those, I mean, if we remember when the internet started in the 1990s, it was really slow. And if you go to the old articles about internet, where basically they debated, which one will be better, a fax machine or email, or just remember the whole articles where they actually were talking about the productivity, and that internet is it's an exciting gadget, but it kind of doesn't add any productivity to anyone. And it's kind of was the case. I mean, back then internet was really, really slow. I mean, we cannot imagine how slow it was. And also, that's the first thing, that's a technological constraint. And also, we really didn't know how to use it. I mean, this was a completely new technology. So we had also a human, constraint here. So if we remember what the internet looked like, those web pages basically, internet was all about exchanging, data, information, and ultimately content. But the only thing we were able to exchange is text, images that you had to download it. It was pretty slow, especially if you had multiple images on one web page, it was slow to download. And if you're lucky enough, and I said lucky, you had to wait a couple of minutes to download it, but very short, really short video clips, small, really short video clips. That's the only thing you were able to do in the 1990s with internet. Now, if we compare to what's going on with AI right now, when it comes to generation, what could you generate? You could generate text for sure, a lot of it. You could also generate images, yes. And you could generate very short video clips, very short videos, like 10 or 20 seconds. So we are highly limited. You see the same limitation. Obviously, it's a different technology, that's for sure. But in a principle, on a very fundamental level, you see the same kind of process, where when it comes to the internet, we're limited by the speed of the internet connection and the data exchange. And here, with AI, we are basically limited by the power, the processing power, or the compute power of those chips of microprocessors. So if we go back to the 1990s, yes, again, we could download text, images, it was slow, it was annoying, and very, very short, small video clips. Now, what happened is that the speed of the internet increased. And with that, with Napster, we were able to download and exchange, pieces of music. Then the internet became even faster, and we were able to download and exchange complete videos. And then it became even more faster by 2008, and we had, through YouTube, the first live streaming, experiences. So you see all of that because of the speed of the internet. That's the technological constraint that we've been able to go through. Now, ultimately, obviously, we had all those mobile devices with the phones, with the tablets and everything, and everyone had basically a pretty, how can I say that, a powerful computer connected 24 hours, 7 days a week to the internet, and then the whole thing just exploded. Now, one thing, if we go back to the 1990s, one thing also that we learned is that at first we thought that everyone needs to have its own website. So it was the proliferation of website with the webmasters and everything that goes with. I remember all those agencies that were creating websites. Now, ultimately, we understood that maybe it's a good idea to have one website, to have one platform that will aggregate a lot of traffic, and you could put your content there on social media, on one specific platform where everyone could basically see it. And so ultimately we actually learned how to use internet and what's the best way to use internet. So if we go to our time, like to what's going on right now with AI, you actually see that we're going into the same process. And I know a lot of you will say, yeah, but it's not the same technology, it's a completely different technology. Agree, it's a different technology. Different actors, but same movie. I will say it this way. It's a different technology, but the process is the same. The process is actually the same. The limitation that we have right now is that AI have a technological constraint. It's basically it's limited by the compute power or the processing power of those chips, of those GPUs, of those microprocessors. Once we increase it, now imagine we're gonna increase the processing power of those GPUs, somehow, or those microprocessors unit. When we're gonna have more power, first thing that's going to happen is that instead of generating those small video clips of 10, 20 seconds, we'll be able basically to generate whole movies, whole long format videos, and also a bunch of simulations, a bunch of three-dimensional simulations, almost a video game. So maybe not a whole video game, but a good portion of it. Then what's going to happen? Imagine right now we increase even more the processing power. Now AI becomes context aware. It becomes basically conscious of your own environment. In other words, right now we have this prompting culture of AI, which basically we give instructions to AI to generate to generate text, to generate images, to generate videos. Now imagine that AI see what you see, AI hear what you hear, AI absorb all the data that surrounds you. Now at this point you don't even need to give AI instructions. You don't even need to prompt AI to do anything. What AI does it's actually just helping you, and becomes everywhere and becomes responsive to everything you're doing, to everything you're saying or not saying, to everything you're looking at or not looking at, to everything you're hearing, to everything you're not doing actually. What becomes out of it is that AI becomes completely what's called context aware. In this world, basically, your whole understanding of reality basically changes. And I know it sounds a little bit, science fiction, but humans are pretty much limited in our perception of reality. We think we are highly rational and objective, but actually we perceive a just fraction of what we could perceive. Now imagine when AI hear what you hear, see what you see, and is able to absorb so much data, process it, and gives you relevant information, whatever you ask it or not. Suddenly you become aware of things that you haven't been able to become aware. You understand your interaction with people in the way you haven't been able to understand them before. This is when it becomes kind of interesting, and when even our behavior will change one way or another. And if we increase even more the processing power of AI, now we are going into an environment where AI is able to generate complete three-dimensional virtual environments. Imagine a video game, like completely generated from scratch and just generated for you. Whatever it's for training, or if it's for entertainment, or it's for education, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you have completely three-dimensional environment that is generated for you. Now, what's gonna happen? Obviously, one of the things that's going to be also used is the augmented reality glasses. And I know, I mean, I know a lot of you will say, it doesn't work. We already tried it, like with Microsoft HoloLens 1 and 2 and all of those headsets of augmented reality in virtual. It just doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work, because you're not gonna wear 1 pound of electronic on your head for more than 10, 15, 30 minutes max. I mean, it's just not practical. It needs to be a wearable device. When the microelectronic components will be powerful enough and small enough to be incorporated in a device that look like, that image, it's not a good example, but look like real small, very light, normal glasses that everyone wears. It's gonna have very, very tiny cameras, microphones, and you won't be able to differentiate augmented reality glasses from normal glasses, so to speak. What's going to happen? Combine that with AI, and now you have not only a way to generate complete virtual environments where you could do whatever you wanted to do, but also you're gonna become, the environment itself is gonna be highly responsive, and you're gonna see the world in a way you haven't seen before. Because you have to understand that not only you're gonna perceive things, in a three-dimensional way, you have like those visuals within your reality, where you could be in a reality that we are right now and have this responsive effect by using AI, but also you could completely goes into completely virtual environment when you're gonna experience things that you haven't been experiencing before. All of that with AI, because it's gonna be completely, utterly, instantaneously generated by AI itself. And that's really exciting. So that's kind of the thing that I wanted to share with you today. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to unpack here. And obviously, this evening, I probably won't have time to unpack everything. But just to let you know that there's just a lot of things that we need to talk about it. And the transition from internet-based economy to AI-based economy, and not only economy, but the whole system, the whole culture, the whole society will change with that. And we need to understand that AI will not only touch the virtual environments or the entertainment business. It will touch medicine, it will touch the material science, and it's already touching those industries, but it's gonna actually accelerate a lot of development in those fields. It will also accelerate the development in human psychology, because once you become aware of things that you haven't been aware before, or you get an understanding that you haven't had before, a much more, I will say, rational understanding of things, your behavior change, the way you live your life also change. um, and when AI touches like medicine or even material science, why is it so important to talk about material science? And probably I'll do just completely stream talking about AI touching material science, because you see, once AI touches material science, we're talking about the development of nanotechnology. If we're talking about the development of nanotechnology, it will have an effect on things like cars' batteries. So instead of having a capacity of 300 miles, imagine a battery that uses nanoparticles that has a capacity of 2,000 or 3,000 miles. I know it sounds ridiculous. It sounds like atrocious, like almost science fiction. But that's, we already, I think, had a battery of, it was a prototype, obviously, but a battery for 1,000 miles. So imagine with those nanoparticles that were developed using AI, we could achieve much more autonomy for electric vehicles. And that's where we'll see the complete proliferation of electric vehicles by themselves. And when it comes to the medicine, well, it will open up a whole new field of preventive medicine that actually will be even bigger or even more important than the traditional medicine that we have right now. So that's kind of highly exciting fields, and I think we're going through all those streams because I will try to do them as much as possible, as often as possible. We're going to explore what's really going to happen with all of those sectors, with all of those technologies, and how it's going to change the society, and what you could do to adapt yourself. So again, no hype. I'm not gonna employ any fearful stories or beliefs, but we're going to look at the reality. We're going to look at what's really concretely is going on, and how it's going to change the society by itself. So I hope it was exciting for you. I hope you enjoyed the point of view that I enjoy every day. And on that one, I will see you in the next stream. That said, probably the next stream will be tomorrow or after tomorrow, depending on how busy I am, obviously. But I will try to go live as much as possible, as soon as possible. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.